good morning, Swati Don Chao Ka, Konnichiwa, Xin Chao, or Ni Hao, or Salam Alaikum. So this morning, I'm just going to have a chat about how I've been getting on. It's been 2 weeks since I've had the Medtronic MiniMed 780G pump, as you can see right here, and the results are great. And as I've titled this vlog, that it's like a get out of diabetes jail. My diabetes educator said that someone had said that to her the other day, and it really rings true. Why haven't I done it earlier? I think I know why. Number one, I'm stubborn. Number two, I thought that the pens with the basal bolus and true to fact, it was working for me. I was really active, and I think the difference is now that I'm aging, I'm not as active as I once was. And I truly believe that everyone gets hooked up about the medication side, the food, but they forget how important exercise is. And with, I guess, excuses like I'm aging, busy lifestyle, and they are just that, excuses. I should get off my butt and do a lot more than what I do. But as far as running, I'd rather get poked in the eye with a hot stick. I couldn't think of anything worse. My dog's a little bit older now, and she has heart disease, so I can't take her for a walk anymore. So what a great change. I can't believe how easy it is. No more jabbing, no more hypos. So it's been 2 weeks. I've been seeing the endocrinologist and the diabetes educator, and I'm so grateful, thankful that I was able to, with private health, get approved, because the insulin pump is $9,000. So for those that can't afford it, I would highly recommend paying that bit of extra with your private health so that you do qualify for the insulin pump if you're a type 1 diabetic. I know in Australia, the children that are diagnosed nowadays, there is some form that they can get on to having the pump straight away, because there is the great benefits to that. So with my visit, I found that for 3 days, I was 100% time in range. I'm now sitting about 80 to 89% with an average blood glucose level with my HbA1c sitting at 6.6. So everyone was really happy with the way I've progressed, and I'm happy in myself. Just the knowledge of not having hypos. So hypoglycemia is, your brain is one organ that relies on glucose. And without it, when your sugars drop as a diabetic, it's that feeling of impending death. If I stand up, I'm going to fall over. I'm going to collapse. You get the symptoms of shakiness, breaking out into sweats, knowing what you want to say, but not being able to communicate what you actually want to say. Is a terrifying experience, and it is that fear of doom, impending death, basically. That's the best way to describe it. So blood glucose levels are great, 100% in range for most of the time, and my HbA1c I'm really, really happy with. Some of the fears that I did have with being attached to a blood glucose level, insulin pump, was the fact that, how do you go sleeping with it? The tubing, you got it with you all the time. So a few tips I've found, just briefly, is I tuck the pump under the top of, underneath the pillow. And then that way I've got the extension tubing too, so that I can actually roll from side to side without getting tangled up in it. I did go for a swim the other day at the beach, and because I am aging, and I know I keep referring to that, but it makes a big difference. Memory wise, I thought, geez, I was told to suspend it disconnect, suspend, disconnect when you're going in the shower. The pump is waterproof. However, if you're swimming in the ocean and you become disconnected and lose your pump, well, that's it. That's your private health is not going to cover you for a second pump. You do get a new updated pump every 4 years with your private health. But if I was to lose it, well, then that would be on me to have to replace it. So I do not suspend it. I basically just disconnected. And the reason for doing that, why I didn't suspend it, and I don't know whether they approve of that or whether Medtronic suggests that you do that. I've done it because I have the fear of forgetting to take it off the suspension mode. And I don't want my sugars to be climbing because I've forgotten to recommence the insulin therapy. So for the amount of time that I was disconnected in the water, having a swim, getting back and then reconnecting, it made no difference. Same with showering. You know, you're in the shower for 5, well, sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes longer. It still has made no difference. So I basically disconnect, leave the pump on the hand basin and just making sure that the connecting part isn't touching anything, and have my shower, get out, dry myself, and then reconnect the pump. Other things is pockets. I've now learnt a new appreciation about having pockets in dresses. I'm going to have to cut a little hole in the pockets of some of my dresses so that I can just feed it through. But shorts with pockets, jeans, it's the easiest thing. One other little tip too that I've found that with the tubing, trying to get the tubing stuck in the pocket as well, because a couple of times at work I wear scrubs and the tubing comes out, I put it in my scrub pocket and I've walked past something and went, whoa, and sort of yanked it on getting caught on something. So I do try and, there is something that comes with the kit that allows you to curl it up. However, when you go to put it out your pocket to give yourself a bolus with the meal, it's a matter of then having to unwind it all. So I've just chosen not to do that. What else? Pockets, the tubing, the pump itself tells you what to do. I'm so IT illiterate. In fact, dear Claudia, my son's girlfriend, has helped me upload my first video that I dropped the other day. And I'm no good with that. I'm going to be learning, obviously. But the pump, foolproof. Hey, if I can use it, anyone can, trust me. I'm loving it. And why didn't I do it years ago? Like I said, stubborn. Didn't think it would be for me. Didn't want something hanging off me all the time. Now I'm regretting those decisions that I made. I should have done this years ago. What a great invention. And the other bonus is the sensor that marries up with the Medtronic pump. They're actually suggesting now, and I'm wearing one on my thigh. So high up on the thigh, so it's not seen with shorts on. I no longer have a sensor on my arm, which is great. I did find at work I'd often get asked, you know, are you giving up smoking? A couple of times I did say to patients, just in jest, was, no, actually, my husband's quite controlling and it's a tracking device. I did tell a little child that I was from another planet and that was my homing device. Again, I did explain afterwards that I was just full of shite, that I was joking. However, it's freed me of not having anything apart from the pump in my pocket, which I can hide quite easily. It's freedom. It really is getting out of diabetes jail. So that's all for today, really. I just wanted to share. I am off to Las Vegas in about 4 days. So just about some quick travel trip tips, spit it out, travel tips. First of all, make sure you have your letter from your GP or endocrinologist stating that you have permission to carry so much medication with you, insulin vials, insulin pens, the pumps, the sensors, needles, whatever. And I was given a few tips about with the Medtronic MiniMed 780G pump, is to make sure that when in the plane, ascending, going up, to disconnect prior to leaving the ground, and to disconnect descending. I'm not a physicist or an engineer, hell no. However, I think it's got something to do with the pressures, the cabin pressures that can give bubbles in the tubing. And I have heard that especially when descending, that if you don't disconnect, you might be at the luggage area. It's normally the timing from when you might get hit with a bolus of insulin and then hence have a hypo. So I'll be giving that a go, and I may even film what I do. Also, things like not going through the X-ray machine with your pump. And a diabetes educator who I saw last, who also is a type 1 diabetic, suggested not going through any X-ray. If they ask you to disconnect, refuse. I'll see how it goes anyway. But yeah, not to go through scanners with the pump. And I guess in reality, there's type 1 diabetics all over the world, so I'm sure it's not going to be something new. They would have seen it all before, so hopefully I'll streamline through security and it won't be an issue. Other things to make sure that you do take a written script, and when carrying your diabetes medication, the giving sets, the sensors, making sure that you keep it as you carry on, but also have some packed away in your luggage. The reason for that being is when I've travelled, always kept a little bit in my luggage, but the majority of it on my carry-on, because if my luggage gets left in another country, I don't want to be stranded without vital not life-saving, what's the word for it? Something that will stop me from being sick by not having it on me. And I always do carry a script with me, because I can always go to a doctor in another country, and there is always a traveller's doctor, so one that speaks English. I'm mainly speaking of in Thailand, where you can just go and speak with them. They'd be able to organise medication for you if it comes to that, where you've been stranded with nothing on you. I've never had to do that, and it's all about the planning before you go. So making sure that you've got your doctor's letter, you're carrying enough supplies, and so I will be taking my sensors. I'll be taking an extra one of everything. I'll only be gone for a week, which is not long. Normally I'm away for, say, 4 weeks at a time. So in that instance, I will be carrying more. And earlier this morning, I've got to do change my sensor and my insulin pump set. So I will be showing you, I'll be taking off my pump, my sensor, and showing you how to insert the sensor with this and the taping. I don't know whether I'll show the one of the insulin actually into my tummy. I'm sure you don't want to see my stomach, but we'll work something out anyway. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you like, and if you don't like, that's fine. It is free. But thanks for watching, and have a great day, and be safe. It's a crazy world we live in. Ciao for now.